We're waiting to find out which train to get on, and it's not telling us. I'm stressed because our train leaves at 12:28 and it is 12:16.
And I'm having a great time.
It's colder in this train station than it is outside. What I'm learning from making all these YouTube videos is that you all seem to prefer it when I talk more, but we just spent the last 2 days in Belgium, and when I'm somewhere brand new, it's hard to prioritize that. So we just have a lot of clips of all the amazing places we've been. But I wanted to give you some background on why we went to Belgium in general. We came to Belgium to visit my friend Michael, and Michael watches all these videos, so hello Michael. We miss you already. We just said goodbye to him at the train station. Michael is someone who I met when he was an exchange student in California, and my best friend at the time was an exchange student from Brazil. And she introduced us because she said you guys are both very serious people, which is not how I describe us now. We've gotten a lot less serious over the years. The year after that, I was an exchange student in Chile. The year after that, I finished high school, and the year after that, I was an au pair in France. And when I was an au pair in Paris, I would come and visit him in Belgium, and he would come visit me in Paris, and we just became really close friends. We'd talk all the time. He was like, for sure, like my best friend that year. Just remember when he took me to Brussels, I loved it because it felt like Europe, of course, because it's all old and beautiful, but it also had aspects of the cafe culture in California. You know, there's just like these big comfy cafes with different seatings, and you can study there or you can hang out there, you can read there. Just like these really cozy, warm cafes with like delicious things to eat and different types of coffee, and Michael loves coffee, so I just had the best time walking around with him. And so I was really excited to show Rachel Belgium, and when we found out that he had a couple days off in the middle of his, you know, winter vacations and stuff, we had to make the trip over here. So luckily Rachel felt better. We wanted to spend an extra day there, and we would have gone to Leuven because I don't know if I'm saying Leuven right, but apparently there's a really good hospital there. And Rachel and I have this dream of actually moving to Belgium so that I can either be a doctor or a professor here. She can do IT work, and I'll learn Dutch. I love Dutch, so I would really like to learn Dutch. It's gonna be an uphill battle, but it's interesting here. This is like one of the only places I've been in Europe where when they try and speak Dutch to you and you respond politely in English, everyone looks delighted to speak English. Like, people are pretty nice about it, especially in Flanders. One thing I was saying is one of my favorite things about Belgium in general, first of all, I love brick. So anywhere that has a lot of brick, I just think it's so beautiful. One thing I really loved when I was in Belgium was I noticed that because there's so many different types of building, there'll be like really beautiful buildings and then, in my opinion, some really ugly buildings, but it makes the beautiful buildings look like even more beautiful, and I really like that. Whereas in Paris, like, everything's gorgeous, but it's like gorgeous in a very gray way, and here there's like bits of color and like different architecture, and I don't know, there's just like a good vibe to it. Had an amazing time. We went rock climbing.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, go.
Nice, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice. And then just
You want to keep that left hand. It's just going to help a lot.
I don't want to do that.
Oh, you're so close.
We walked around, we saw the beautiful streets, we got the most amazing sleep in Michael's apartment.
Truly did.
He saw that I love going to grocery stores in other countries, so he took us to grocery stores near his apartment, and we made a huge, big, like, Belgian breakfast. Bread with things on it, according to Michael.
Breads and spreads.
Breads and spreads. Oh, it's... I like how it's supposed to pull claws in there.
Hard work.
It smells so good.
It smells incredible.
I like how like there's glass everywhere.
I know, me too.
It's so pretty. Look at the little bird on it too.
I like that.
Second through fifth grade, I went to school at Buddhist Temple, and it was a very international school. We had a lot of students come from other countries because, you know, they were Buddhist, and they would be, it was like a boarding school as well. I didn't board there, I lived right nearby, but there were students, and one of the girls was from Belgium, and my mom was really good friends with her because my mom loved speaking French, and back then I didn't speak French, I was a kid, but her and my mom used to speak French together all the time. And whenever there were like potlucks and stuff, she would make like bread with butter and chocolate sprinkles on it. And I forgot about that until Michael was like, should we get this? You want to try this Belgian breakfast? Because he tried to make us the most Belgian breakfast of breads and spreads. It was pretty good. I messed up. I spilled them everywhere.
But then I got the extra.
You got the extras. I just poured them onto her piece of toast. After we went rock climbing, we went to this really cool food court called Wolf, which apparently they had one in Brussels, where it's like this food court. We say food court. When I say food court, I imagine like a mall with a bunch of fast food, right? But this food court, it's like a hall where there's a bunch of tables and beautiful lighting, and it's a warm atmosphere, amazing time. You can get drinks and stuff, but then they also have a bunch of different types of food that you can have, but they bring in like local options. I've always spent a lot of like one-on-one time with Michael or had him around my family, so it was fun to see him in a social group. I talked so much. My voice hurts today. I'm honestly kind of shy. I'm like hungover from talking. I am rethinking everything I said. I'm like, why did I talk so much? Because I talked so much.
Yeah, but it was incredible. You weren't the only one talking.
I got along really well with his friends. I really liked his friends. After we went to the food court, Michael's friend James suggested that we go to this place called the Beer Doctor, or Dr. Beer. I think it's Dr. Beer. Dr. Beer, where you can go and tell them what you like, and they can recommend. They like know so much about beer that they can find exactly the beer that you like.
Yeah.
I was too shy for a consultation, but I had a nice sour. Rachel liked her beer. And then Michael was going to take us to a really cool jazz bar, but we were just so tired that we decided to go home, and
It was me.
we relaxed. I was tired too. I needed it. Michael has, honestly, he's made such a cool vibe in his apartment.
Yeah, it was great.
He loves making like these specialty coffees, so he was like our little barista there. He's like a really nice record player. That I've never understood record players. I've always thought like, what are you guys doing with these? Like, it always felt like more for show, but his was just in the back corner.
Yeah.
But he was always playing records, and I want a record player, like
Yeah.
100%. I want to like cultivate.
Especially the music he was playing was so cozy.
I
Like,
love that music,
yeah.
because my thing with music is that a lot of the time I can't, it like overwhelms me, but
Yeah.
this, like, the way that he played music made the house feel so warm.
just
It was
felt
like,
belonged. Yeah, like it wasn't.
Yeah. It was like an extra
overpowering.
blanket.
Yes, exactly.
yeah, exactly. It was perfect. I really liked it. I'm gonna find out what the records are, and we're gonna get them, and we're gonna play them in our house. We, Michael has has kept really insisting that we remember to get off at Brussels Midi, which is not the same as Central. It's south, so we have to get off at the third stop, and Rachel keeps remembering it as Brussels Medieval Zoo, because when he says it, it sounds like Brussels Midi Sud or something. Learning Dutch is going to be very difficult for me, but I am determined.
I'm also determined.
Every now and then I'll say a word right.
Yeah.
Words that I have learned to say is before I speak English, I say hi, hi, and then after they hand me something, I say dank u wel, dank u wel. It's good, right?
It is good.
Maybe dank u wel. And then I learned how to say excuse me, which I just say sorry, 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 sorry.
Say okay.
Felt pretty cool, because at the rock climbing gym, especially whenever I had to get around someone, or like I had to like get my shoes out because someone like sat where my shoes had been, and I was grabbing them, and I was like sorry, and I grabbed them, and they were like, oh, sorry, and I was like, oh, thank you, thank you. I love words. It's like having magic powers. New words are magic. Unlocks things. Yes, I level up. Exactly. It reminds me of Aragon, kind of. Every time he has a new word, he can do so much more.
Yep.
That's how I feel with new words. All in all, it was an amazing trip.
It really was.
Yeah.
I love Belgium. I can't wait to live there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael gave us his bed, and he slept in the living room.
Thank you.
And now he's heading to Amsterdam for New Year's, and he's really tired, and I feel really bad.
I know, me too.
I want him to visit, though. I miss him. Like, every time I hang out with Michael and then we go away, I'm like, oh, it's hard to have that good of a friend and not be nearby, you know?
Yeah.
I wish I could see him more.
I would love to hang out with him all the time.
Every time that I saw him when I was living in France, every time we were saying goodbye, we planned another trip. So, thank you so much, Michael. We loved seeing you. And we can't wait for you to come to Philadelphia,
You are coming to Philadelphia.
even though he refuses to come to the U.S. for another few years. But
That's fine. We have time.
we have time. We'll be there for, at least 5 more years, so we'll get him to come. and will change his mind on Philly because he went there once and he didn't feel very safe. But there's some good pockets, okay? There's some good pockets.
Part of the charm.
It's part of the charm. Okay. Well, this is my announcement. I'm sorry I didn't post a vlog yesterday, but I was living my life, okay? And now you'll have a whole entire Belgium vlog. Experience. I'm going to edit this on the train back to Paris. And we will see you tomorrow because I'll have a lot more control now that we're back in my territory. Okay, bye.